Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach.
This is Nacho Ordinary Fitness Podcast.
I'm Sarah, and I'm Nacho Typical Fitness Expert.
And I'm Kaylee, and I'm Nacho Average Fitness Beginner.
We're here to spice up your fitness journey
with some humor, a little knowledge, and a couple glasses of wine.
We're here to prove that getting fit doesn't have to suck.
So whether you're a seasoned athlete or a couch potato,
we've got some tips, tricks, and unconventional advice for you.
Let's redefine fitness together
and learn to balance fitness and fun.
So Sarah,
what?
Check this out.
Good, 22. Who's going to carry the boats in the logs? That's you, buddy. Come on, 23. Come on, 24. One more, David. One more to carry the boats.
What? Do you know who that is?
No. What did I just listen to?
That's David Goggins.
I don't know who David Goggins is. Goggins?
Goggins.
Okay, David.
Okay, Goggins. It blows my mind. You've never come across anything, but you also don't spend a lot of time on social media.
This is really surprising to you. Why are we even talking about David Goggins?
You don't know me, son.
No.
All right. So in my, vast journeys across the internet and more often I'm finding myself in, fitness corners.
Right. Related categories and such. You're getting promoted.
And so David Goggins, he's like this super famous, I guess fitness influencer.
Okay.
Dude's an animal.
Wait, is this the guy that you and Michael got like all starry-eyed
Yeah,
over
I think Michael, a guest that we had on earlier this season, did mention him in a very positive way. And he was like, I follow David Goggins. And, I even kind of chuckled a little bit because my only experience with coming across David Goggins videos is like more in a parody kind of way, like people doing parodies of him and making fun of him because he's really intense.
He is very intense. So is that the only video that he has that you've
seen? No.
Okay.
There's a whole...
What's another example of a video that he's really intense about? Is there another one?
No, they're all very intense. I mean, I don't know how many...
One that I can maybe actually understand.
I don't know how many clips we can play, but maybe we could play a few seconds of... A lot of his videos are him running.
Okay.
And...
They're a good one of those.
And he's just talking...
Another long rehab. My first week back running is about 6-7 weeks. I know a lot of you don't understand me. I don't give a shit. But one thing I found out. I'm not the smartest motherfucker in the world. But one thing I fucking do know. This life is relentless.
Life is relentless.
He's not wrong.
He's got some serious win.
Guy's not wrong, but
on the microphone there, but...
Yeah, but he is very, very, no bullshit, no nonsense, no excuses, no,
So does he do workouts or does he just do this content where it's like quasi-motivational?
I think more motivational. Okay. And I could be wrong. I don't know if I don't think he's like putting out any kind of...
Does he have any kind of bio on that YouTube page or anything that he self-proclaimed, anything specific other than just... something that's catchy?
No, I mean, he's got 10.4 million followers on Instagram.
It's impressive. It's just a few. I mean,
not much of a bio, but like I'm looking at like the people that I follow that follow him as well. A lot of just fitness people, but I mean, I almost find him like entertaining. Like it's entertainment.
What about these parodies? Like he does parodies?
Yeah, so he's got these taglines like, who's going to carry the boats and the logs? And I'm like, you don't know me, son. So I have come across some parodies on TikTok of people like, like after watching one David Goggins video, and then they go on this whole like, living the lifestyle
rant.
Yeah.
I'm now the new fitness influencer.
Okay, so David Goggins is a retired Navy SEAL.
Okay.
And the only member of the U.S. Armed Forces to complete SEAL training, Army Ranger School, and Air Force Tactical Air Controller training. He has completed more than 70 ultra-distance races, often placing in the top 5, and is a former Guinness World Record holder for completing 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours.
Holy smokes.
So he's a very sought after public speaker.
He's very decorated.
Traveled the world. I think people love him. And I get it. Like he is very like you hear him talking, you're like, yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna go do this too. I'm gonna go do 4,000 pull-ups in 17 hours. I can totally do that.
So
That's impressive.
yeah, I'm just really surprised you've never heard of him.
No, I mean, I'm going to follow him now because that's kind of fun.
I think you'd really like him. I think you and David Goggins could be two peas in a pod, to be honest with you.
I like that level of intensity that has
very
in his
intense
voice.
He's very intense. Hold on. Keep talking.
Okay.
You're good.
I mean, I just, sometimes getting really specific in education and knowledge and, fitness, and there's all these different facets and things that you're learning and stuff like that. But sometimes outlets like this can be kind of fun though too, because it sounds like he speaks on a little bit of like a motivational thing.
Very much so, yeah.
Get out of your own way. Just make the changes, get things done. I think after we had a chance to talk to Gio, we hit end of the recording or whatever. And I said, the guests that we've had on, specifically the 3 hosts that were for the Built by FitBod pod cast, they all have journeys and stories. But the one common thing about all 3 of those individuals was that they made the decision to change. And then how that's just a switch that has to flip, that you can have all of the knowledge in the world, but until you just decide to start doing something,
have that growth mindset, but a switch does have to flip for that.
For sure.
And they're they're all very disciplined. And I don't like the word motivation anymore.
No. You left that in 2023.
I left that in 2023. That's not a thing anymore.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's real.
It's not about motivation.
Like, there was a time where I thought, I can't, I'm just not I need to find motivation. No, you don't.
You can't find motivation.
You can't find motivation. No. You can't sit around and wait to feel inspired or feel motivated. It's discipline. And sometimes you have to tell yourself some hard truths that are hard to hear.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Quit being a little bitch.
That's right.
Basically. I tell myself that.
That's the theme of season 3. I mean, you came out of the gate hard with that one, and it's just been like following us.
From the moment I opened my eyes,
like a lost puppy through this entire season.
Just quit being a little bitch.
But it does take that. I mean, really, if you look at everyone we've had a chance to talk to that have been down these fitness paths. I mean, this season it's been like Coach Curtis and Jonica and Michael and Gio and even Nick has been on. They all definitely are those types of people that they're like, we'll just do it.
Yeah.
You just got to start doing it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be perfect, but it is definitely a mindset that I don't think is like a hard built-in personality trait for everybody.
And that's what I used to think. I used to think it was a built-in personality trait that I just did not have the luck to possess. Just the luck of the draw. That's not the case at all.
No. And I think you just have to decide, but it might be interesting to know I'm sure that switch for everyone is different though. And it's like, is that tied to your why? Or is it tied to like, is it a health event? Is it because of family? Is it because you want to do something with your grandkids? Is it because, your best friend had a health event? Like,
varies wildly.
I'm sure
I think it has to be just one thing. I think for a lot of people, I think we see, especially as I've been in the FitBod community online, and people are sharing their stories, you do see a lot of like kind of health scares, a situation in life where your back's kind of up against the wall. And I think that's a pretty common one. People start having heart issues or diabetes.
Why do we let it get to that point first? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like, why would you not want?
And I think it would have chance for me. I think for me, it was more of like a mental health issue where I was like, I have to get out of this. Like, I'm not okay.
Funk.
I don't want to be in this anymore. I don't want to be, stressed and anxious and sad and just like, going through the motions of life. Like, but I don't know. I don't know that everybody. And like what Michael said, everybody's capable of reaching that point. I'm not sure that everybody does, obviously not, because people die from,
well, it's not always necessarily a life and death situation either. I mean, sometimes it's just like, all right,
I can't play with my kids, my grandkids. I can't, I can't walk up the stairs without being out of breath or.
Not everyone wants to get up at 5 a.m. But if that's the life that if that's what works to get it done and your priorities in check, then sometimes the alarm's going to go off at 5 a.m. and you don't want to get out of bed.
I didn't want to be a person who got up at 5 a.m. I was not interested in that, to be honest with you. I'm not a morning person, but I knew that was one of the habits that I drastically had to change in order to make all the other stuff work.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't going to work if I was sleeping until...
No.
That's a lot of my problem.
And there was a mental toughness that came with that even those mornings where you didn't want to do it, that you were kind of had to be like, well, quit being a little bitch.
Yeah. And I hear a lot of excuses from people, and it's really hard as somebody who was an excuse maker, probably one of the best, really. I was really good at what I...
Gold star for you.
I was doing. And so it's really hard for me to hear other people, when they tell me why they can't, or, and everybody's life is different. Everybody's situation is different. But I'm just like, it's the same shit you told me in the beginning. Like, you can or you don't want to.
Right. There's no I can't.
Right.
You're capable. 100%.
Can you open your eyes at 5 a.m.? Yeah.
Yes, you can.
You're capable.
You are capable. But I think that's a truth that you have to tell yourself, and you have to be willing to admit that. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people. I'm like, that word just burns me. Like, it's not allowed in our house. My children aren't allowed to say it. They will try, and I'll be like, oh no, you are capable and you can.
That's why, me and my kids, you can do hard things. We can do hard things.
Absolutely. And whether you're choosing not to or choosing to or not to, it's fine. But then you need to own it.
Yeah.
And so you can't have the excuse of like, oh, my kids or my job, or like, it's like, really? But what are you doing with your schedule overall?
Exactly. And that does put it, when you have to own it and you stop saying I can't, it hits a little bit differently, because then you have to take a little bit of accountability for it. And that's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine. There's shit I don't want to do that I'm still not doing.
Yeah. But you're okay with that though, then? There's not like a stress
I'm okay with it for the time being. And if it ever hits a point where I'm not okay with it, then, figure it out. But that I can now. Yeah. Because I can't out of it.
I do believe morning workouts are a very simple schedule adjustment to make.
It really is.
If that's a priority for you, because just like Gio mentioned, then it's checked off the list.
Done. And honestly, you've probably already did the hardest thing you're going to do all day.
Right. And it's just like smooth sailing from there. And you don't stress about it. Like, I know the periods of time where I've had afternoon workouts. You never know how the day is going to go, whether it was work related, kid related, weather related, whatever, traffic related. And all of a sudden you leave it till towards the end of the day.
Yeah. I won't do it.
It can take a bunch of different turns, and then you're stressed out about it because something else popped up or whatever. But like, if you just find a way, and it doesn't have to start with hours earlier in the morning. I remember when I first started doing my morning workouts, I would get up and do some of my cardio in the morning before my work day started. I just started with 30 minutes. Yeah. That's what worked for me. I mean, sometimes you can rip off the Band-Aid and just go balls to the wall, and you can like bump it up really super early. But for me, I was like, okay, if I just get up 30 minutes earlier, roll out of bed, put some clothes on, and just go out for like a mile run and come back, I did it. And I feel better, and I checked it off my list, and I'm very type A, and I like to scratch things off the to-do list.
I'm not type A, but
you do like to do lists.
I like to get it. I like to have a list. I like to have things that I like to get
priorities
done, and to do those harder things first thing in the morning is the key for me. And I won't do it in the afternoon, and I won't do it in the evening.
Yeah, and you just know you won't, and you lose motivation, and then you're a little bit more tired, and it's just so many things can change. So I think if you're looking for a very simple way to start weaving in just a little bit of activity, you got to get up and do it first thing in the morning.
I agree.
I mean, I know people will give you the answer about like whatever works best for you. Yeah. But I'm like, honestly.
And it sucks because, to be honest with you, there's people that work the night shift. There's nurses. There's factory, and it's like, no, not everybody can get up at 5 a.m. But whatever your 5 in the morning is.
Before you start your day. First thing when you wake up and just get it done. So, I mean, I'm really actually kind of interested to hear one of these parody videos from David Goggins. But at first, I think what we're going to do is we're going to pause really quick for a quick ad break. And then maybe I'll give you some time to find a good one of those. And then we'll come back. If you have something to share with us or even suggest a new topic idea, email us at nachofitnesscoach@gmail.com. Okay, so I'm really actually kind of interested to hear one of these parodies. Okay, so I mean, maybe go back to his original content too at the end, because I'm kind of interested to hear.
This is the one that I found, and I'm hoping the audio comes through fine, but
We're about ready to find out.
Okay. This was actually, I think my husband mentioned
this first.
I think he mentioned David Goggins to me months back, and he was like, "Have you heard of him?" And I was like, "No." And then you know how like sometimes like the internet is just listening to your spoken conversations.
The internet's always listening to your spoken conversations. Yes.
So then shortly after that, then one of these parody videos came up. I was like, okay. And then I don't know. Then I just got clued into who he actually is as like an actual.
It's always listening.
All right, I don't know where this is going to start, but I'm just going to play this parody video. This is by Captain Sinbad.
Okay.
On YouTube.
Phobic Goggins, you can't run so hard. Your liver's gonna give out. You don't know me, son! I told him, Doc, you a fat motherfucker. Fresh every day. Put your shit on, man. We're going for a run. A lot of people ask me, Goggins, do you use sunscreen when you run? I don't use none of these products and creams and shit. That's poopy pants. You know what I hate? Poopy pants. Better not.
Oh my gosh.
You don't know me, son. I can't tell you how many times a day, just like on my own. It's like, you don't know me, son. It's very motivating.
That is actually very motivating because sometimes you just have to tell like the devil that's sitting on one of your shoulders that's telling you can't.
Who's gonna carry the boat?
Yeah, you're like, what? You don't know me? I got this, and maybe it's just enough to push you over the edge.
I think for every like over the top fitness influencer, motivational, whatever, if it works for you, like I love it. I have nothing against this dude, and as a matter of fact,
I'm a fan. I need to follow him.
I just found us a new challenge, by the way.
Oh no,
it's the Goggins challenge.
He has one.
Oh,
good Lord. Okay, here we go. We'll share it with the world.
4 miles.
Nope, I'm out. No, I'm kidding.
Every 4 hours for 48 hours. It's called the 4x4x48.
You don't get to sleep then.
Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? You don't sleep.
I don't understand the boats and the logs reference. Did he just make this up?
I don't know. It's funny, though.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Wow, that is intense. So then how does he know if people are doing this challenge? Like this is his challenge?
I don't know. Honestly, it says this is on his webpage, and then so it says like what I just read to you, and then it says announcement to come. So stay tuned for a big announcement, Sarah. We might be.
So there might be like, so what he might do is pick a city and be like, hey, come on in. This is the new version of a marathon race, and we're going to do this Goggins challenge.
That's intense. 4 miles every 4 hours.
I mean, so
it would take me 4 hours to run. Well, no,
4 miles. No, it wouldn't. Oh, good Lord. God, I hope not. I mean, it'd probably take us 45 minutes to run 4 miles.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite that long. Yeah, probably pretty close. 45 minutes.
Just nap in between?
I think the not sleeping part would be what would get me.
All of it would get me. I mean,
I feel like I could do 3 rounds of that and be fine.
You could?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do think.
Yeah, I probably. Yeah,
because you could train for that enough to get to 16 miles. Feel like pretty easily. But after like when you would get to the point where like, okay, now it's been like a full day and I'm ready for bed.
That's what it's about. How far can you push yourself? You know.
You know what?
You have what it takes.
I actually feel like that would be a good exercise for people to go through, because if you have never in your life had a coach yelling at you, trying to push you more, your body is far more capable than what your brain is telling you.
For sure.
That you can either do or not do or whatever. So sometimes that person in your ear is like, you got this. You know, sometimes they're harder than more motivational, but that actually would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I think everyone should do that because I think it's a good self-realization exercise, right? I mean,
yeah,
you got this. You go.
Right.
Just let's do this.
You'd almost have to like play his voice in your ears if you were gonna.
Well, yeah. I mean,
actually do this
for sure.
This dude's intense. I don't hate him.
Does he have an Instagram handle? Or no? Just
David Goggins.
Got a it's just his name.
Blue tick and everything.
Isn't that fancy?
Never finish. Unshackle your mind and win the war within.
I love that. That is a great.
I knew you'd like this guy. You give me David Goggins vibes from time to time. Which is great.
Honestly, listen, you can have the best trainer in the world. You can have the person that knows all of the things, all of the knowledge,
right?
Everything. But at some point, you got to have a little fire within.
You do. And this is a man who lives this, breathes this. I mean, 24/7. You know, he's not trying to stay fit to like live his best life. Like he's constantly in this, which is not necessarily something I aspire to nor recommend aspiring to. Like, this is an intense
It's been his
lifestyle.
life though. So
right. And if he's happy, good for him.
He's always been in it. This isn't new to him. This is kind of like his career almost. But he's been on the Andrew Huberman podcast, which I love Andrew Huberman too. Yeah. He is super smart and fabulous. So the Huberman Lab is a podcast too that's really super worth checking out. But wow. So just a while ago he was on the Huberman Lab podcast, transmuting trauma and pain into strengths. So these are the topics that he just somewhat recently talked about on the podcast, transmuting trauma and pain into strengths, which is great. So that's trauma versus like Michael's was his recovery and addiction, trading kind of that one for another. Yep. Mastering your inner dialogue. I feel like they were just listening to our conversation. I feel like we talked about that. They might have. Right?
I mean, do you think Huberman and David Goggins probably follow us, are taking inspiration from?
They have to.
From us?
For sure.
It's not far out of the realm of us.
How to take on mental challenges, which that is a skill that is definitely acquired over time, and having that tenacity to be like, okay, life knocked me down, but how did I learn from it? And I'm going to keep going forward. So there's a mental capacity to it. Resetting your resolve daily. Love that.
Because it is an ongoing thing. It's not like, oh, now I unlocked all the keys to having all this shit figured out and I don't have to do any more work. It isn't literally daily.
Because then more shit happens.
Life is...
You got to figure it out. You got to keep going.
You got to keep figuring it out.
Okay, how to confront your own darkness. That voice on the shoulder that tells you can't, or history or situations or whatever. Like, listen, life happens to everyone, and
very
we're
much,
all different flavors of it, but you can turn it into something positive. And then overcoming setbacks, because those also absolutely happen as well. So, interesting. Oh no, there's actually like a facial view of him on forward on that one. He's older.
Yeah, he's no spring chicken.
No, he's not. He's been around the block.
But I mean, he's fitter than me and you put together times 10.
No, listen, I'm pretty fit. I'm kidding. Well, listen.
I mean, yes.
I can't do one pull-up.
We're not David Goggins fit, even put together.
I can't do one pull-up.
No, you and I did 4 push-ups combined.
If I weigh 150, I know I can do a couple pull-ups. But
no, this man is a machine. He's not human.
He's not human. I'm just like scrolling through his Instagram feed here. Oh, he was doing a presentation. Look, there's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I mean, yeah, no, this guy is
International Sports Hall of Fame. He's doing some speaking. Wow, this isn't. I mean, I like this guy.
He even reposts parody videos.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, from TikTok.
Oh, here's one of him running. Whatever's in front of you, don't put your head down. Face it head on. Life is not going to give you any breaks. The majority of us have been broken at least once in our lives. We can be broken spiritually, physically, emotionally, etc. If you've been broken once, you know exactly what it feels like. But there's nothing unknown about the emotions, the pain, etc. that come with it. Many people try to avoid suffering. That's not what I'm talking about physical suffering. Loving life, no expiration date. That's awesome. If you've been injured and failed, keep it up. Try to break me again. Your response you need to have moving forward is try to break me again, mother effer.
Yeah. I like it. I love it.
Oh, it's intense.
Yeah, he is intense. And I think, I don't know, if you just need that little tiny little sliver of motivation or whatever, even though I hate that word.
Somebody that just like puts you over the edge. Like, okay, fine. I'm going to do the gym.
Like when you watch it.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of like funny videos about like, sitting on the couch on my rest day and open up TikTok and it's a David Goggins video.
You only do that on rest days?
No, I'm talking about the people that make TikTok.
Shut your mouth. But yeah, I mean, like watching him do this running video makes me want to go out for a run. Because I'd be like, I know. But his cameraman is impressive. Or does he have a drone following him?
I don't know.
What do we got going on here?
Like in the comments, people are like, you know, like,
how does that even
kudos to
work?
the cameraman. I don't know. I mean,
he's jogging, he's not running, but yeah, I want to see the cameraman. That's pretty impressive. So
that's above my pay grade. I don't know.
Awesome. I love it. So
we love
very
it.
good. Yeah. Follow him. He's a great one. This is a great conversation.
I'm glad I brought him to you.
I'm so proud of you. Good job finding stuff on social media.
I feel like
so good at it.
I feel like that was backhanded, but that's fine. I'll take it.
I would never do that. Awesome. All right. Well, that's all we've got today. If you need a little extra motivation, go follow David Goggins because he's pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? You know?
You don't know me, son.
You don't know me, son. You gotta really put your.
You don't know me, son.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. We got that's all we got for today. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to head over to our Instagram at Nacho Fitness Coach and let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. And if you like our podcast, leave us a rating. See you next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.